Very good. Let us talk about plugins and the different types of plugins, processors that we can use in DAWs. I'm thinking in Pro Tools, so we probably demonstrated in that. But these are in any audio workstation. You're going to have these different types, these classifications of processors. The first I want to talk about. Equalizers, and specifically parametric equalizers. Parametric equalizers have three controls that they need to be fully parametric. The variable frequency, the variable bandwidth, and then the variable gain. I think I asked about the frequency. Yes, so it is true that parametric EQ has variable frequency control. Compressors, limiters, and de-essers, all three of those are dynamic processors. Dynamic processing means processing the volumes, the things that are we do. I do that dynamic range thing all the time, where I make the dynamic range smaller, or talk about making the gate or expander, making the dynamic range larger. So all three, compressors, limiters, and de-essers. De-essers are frequency dependent dynamic processor. Okay. High-pass filters. I like using high-pass filters all the time. They're one of the first things and easiest things I think you can get your hands on, and it's really going to clean up your analog recordings. Right? Anything you record in your bedroom, in your friend's house, at a rehearsal space, that you got an actual microphone someplace. The first step, I think, for getting you out of demo sounding, of bedroom recording sound, is to use that high pass filter. Get that low frequency out of there, and so that mud down in this side of the frequency spectrum is out of your recording, and it's going to sound better. Time-based effects are your delays and your reverbs. Things that are taking the sound and repeating it later in time. Time-based effects. And I have railed again and again about trying to get you to put them on aux tracks, sending to aux tracks, and using your time-based effects that way. And then the last thing, when we're done with all of that, when we are bouncing at the end of the process, if you are going from a higher bit resolution to a lower bit resolution, usually 32-bit or 24-bit down to 16, you want to use dither. Dither is what you need to use, and we're going to have a whole lecture about that, I think, later in this class. And dither is now, it's included in most of our limiters. So if you got a limiter at the end of your mixing chain, then just make sure you have the dither enabled when you are going from 16-bit or down to 16-bit. Okay, thank you very much, and dither on, my wayward son.